All right, everyone, what's going on? I know I've been a little bit low-key on the spoiler season hype. I, again, was sick, and then I had my second COVID shot, so I got sick, and then I was working on my spoiler video. I spoiled yesterday. If you missed it, stop this video right now and go watch my spoiler video for this card, Ursur, the Soul Reaper, because it was a lot of fun to put together, and I put a lot of time into it. I really hope that you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to see everybody's reactions from the community and be excited to see themselves on the video. And then I loved being able to spoil this card. I was honored to be able to do that. So I want to talk first. We'll talk about Ursur, but I want to talk kind of the hype of today, this morning, is that Steve Aoki, yes, Steve Aoki, the musician, the DJ, the Pokemon box breaker, the huge 8.8 million Twitter account follower, Steve Aoki, spoiled Sir Bolton, Breaker of Dawn, who is a light warrior. So we, of course, now know that one of the light classes is light warrior, which was a lot of people were kind of thinking maybe that based on kind of the art and the way that the game was going. But Sir Bolton here has a really cool effect. He says if you've charged this turn, we'll talk about charging here in a minute, attacks you control have +1 while defended by an attack action card, which we've seen that effect on something else. Do you know what it is? It's Centauri Sabers. Okay, so we'll talk about that too. But then this really cool attack reaction, which is not limited to once per turn. It's just an attack reaction. You can do this as many times as you want per turn. Banish a card from Sir Bolton's Soul, and target attack with power greater than its base power gains go again. So basically, if you've played any attack reactions, or if they've blocked with any attack action cards because of the charge of his first ability, then it gains go again. So let's back up. Let's talk about charged. So we don't know exactly what charged means quite yet. Right now, it's the morning of 4/18, so we haven't gotten that far yet. But my guess is that you are able to charge and put things into your soul. Like, that is how you fill your soul. There will be cards that say charge your soul, 2 cards, whatever, and maybe it's it could be something like you put cards from your hand into your soul. Could be that you put cards from your deck, like the top or bottom of your deck, in your soul. It could be, and probably my guess is that you're going to be putting cards from your graveyard into your soul. I don't know why that makes sense to me, but to me that seems like the way it's going to be. There seems to be like a lot of graveyard manipulation happening in the set right now. So my guess is that charging puts stuff from your graveyard into your soul. Maybe there's some kind of, I don't know. But let's talk about that. So then you get this thing that is basically Centauri Saber. And Centauri Saber is a weapon attack that attacks for 2. It's a one-handed weapon, so you can have 2 weapons. It attacks for 2, but if it's blocked by a defense action, or if it's defended by an attack action card, it gets +1. So if Sir Bolton is using Centauri Sabers, then that means that the attack will get +2 if you defend it with an attack action card, which is huge. And then in addition, you can pump the Centauri Saber, and then you will be able to attack reaction and banish a card from Sir Bolton's Soul to give it go in. So I play Kasai, right? Kasai is a deck that you've seen me play quite a bit, and it runs 2 Centauri Sabers. And what the biggest problem with Centauri Sabers is giving them go again. And Sir Bolton seems to easily give things go again. So I love that. I think this hero is going to be really, really cool. I think it's going to be a really good kind of go wide deck. It's just going to kind of keep getting go again. It'll be interesting to see how much you can charge. I think that this will be a really cool deck that will play really good in the kind of sealed format of Monarch too. I think it will be really, really interesting to see how the light kind of affects with the dark or the shadow or whatever. So really excited about Sir Bolton, Breaker of Dawn. I'm sure there's a young hero card that I have not seen yet, or it hasn't been spoiled yet, but pretty amazing and pretty cool. All right, so let's back up now. I wanted to share that one first. Let's back up now and let's talk about my spoiler card, and I want to talk about mine, and I want to talk about DMArmada's, because we talked about it a little bit in stream last night, but I've had some more time to really think through my thoughts. So let's talk about my spoiler card, Ursa, the Soul Reaper. First off, it was so like I had to hold on to this card for like a week and a half without telling anybody. And I was like in my Discord group, and people would like ask questions. I'm like, yeah, I can't answer that one. Anyway, shout out to my Discord server. You guys are amazing. It's been a great environment for hanging out and chatting about spoiler season stuff. So Ursa, the Soul Reaper. This is an ally, a shadow token demon ally. So think of it as like another kind of a thing to deal with if you're an opponent. So once per turn, so the thing about allies is they can be attacked, right? So you as my opponent can attack Ursa. But I can't use it appears that I can't use cards to block. It can't be defended with anything that has a shield, which my understanding is that it won't be able to be defended at all. They are destroyed when they've taken damage equal to their health or their life. At the end of the turn, you heal all damage. So you have to spend 6 damage of your turn to deal with Ursa, otherwise I'm going to get him on my turn. And so I'll be able to use him on my turn. And so that's like an important thing because I think the key here is that 6 damage is not impossible to deal to Ursa. But instead of dealing 6 damage to me, you're dealing 6 damage to Ursa. So it's going to delay anything that you're trying to do if you choose to handle Ursa rather than handling the opponent. And then you're going to spend all of your turn attacking him, and I can't use any of my my cards to block anyway, so I just wouldn't block. So then I would have 4 cards in hand. So that's going to allow me to take priority or take initiative over you because you'll be spending your whole attack. So I think it's a really good way to gain initiative. But then if you are able to survive a turn with Ursa and keep him out and attack with him, it's really good. 0 cost for 6, and it has go again if you're attacking. Like if I'm attacking a Sir Bolton, it's gonna have go again because he's gonna have stuff in his soul. So it's gonna have a go again. So it's a 6 attack for 0 with go again against light heroes that have something in their soul. So that's gonna be really good. This might be a card that we talked about a little bit on the chat last night, me and DMArmada, that we think that obviously Classic Constructed is going to be so much more important and moving forward. And so like this could be something that you sideboard out if you're not playing against a light hero. That being said, it's still pretty good. Like a 6 attack that doesn't have Gogan, you just do it at the end of your turn rather than in the middle of your turn. It's still pretty good against Shadow as well. So in the mirror matchup against Shadow, I still think it could be pretty good. But Ursa, really cool. I like it a lot. I love the flavor. All right, let's talk about DMArmada's spoiler, Carrion Husk. Man, like this is like the first legendary that we're seeing. It is so good. It is so good. So it blocks for 6, right? But then you have to get rid of it. So it can only block once because you have to banish it. If you defend with Carrion Husk, banish it when the combat chain closes. And so far, I don't think that there's any way to get this out of banish. Maybe someday we get some way to get it out of banish zone. I don't know. I haven't done the math there yet. But at the start of your turn, if you have 13 or less life, you also banish it. So a lot of people I saw were saying, how is this a chess piece? And I think it's cool. Like if you look at the artwork, like, yeah, it's not a chess piece for you, but it was a chess piece for that dude. Or the whole chest, right? Like, so it is technically a shadow equipment chest. Just because you happen to just be hiding out in it doesn't mean that it's not, or it wasn't originally a chess piece. It also has blood debt, so once you block with it, it will kind of trigger the loss of life into your banish zone. 6 block is huge. DMArmada made a great point in his live stream that so you're going to attack me with Command and Conquer and I can't play any defense reactions? Okay, I'll block with Carrion Husk, right? You can't, like, that's such a huge like this basically takes out one of your opponent's Command and Conquer. So I think in the games this is going to be really important that you as the opponent don't play Command and Conquer until you've gotten my life, or me as the whatever, down past 13 and gotten rid of Carrion Husk. You're going to see a lot of people holding on to Command and Conquer because this is just going to hit a Command and Conquer and make it useless. That's one thing I definitely think. Super interesting card. I love the artwork. I love the flavor. it seems like this is going to be a distinguishing, like, what do you play here in Shadow Runeblade? Do you play Bloodsheath Skeleton or do you play this? We had a discussion about that too. I'm still not convinced that this is essentially better than Bloodsheath Skeleton. It probably depends on what deck. OTK Viserai, this seems, well, OTK Viserai can't use this, right? So, because he's not Shadow. Yeah. So, but it depends on what you're going to want to do with that Bloodsheath Skeleton. If you're going to want to pop it to make some stuff right, that can be pretty good in a mid-range deck too. So it'll be interesting to see where we pick as kind of the meta to choose this or that. But very, very interesting. I love the card, and it was fun chatting with him. So, we got some other cards like Riftbind. If you play Riftbind from your Banish Zone, if you do, it gains plus X, where X is the number of non-attack actions. So a lot of the Runeblade stuff just kind of lining up to be, kind of go wide again. We got a better Cracked Bauble and Talisman of the Dowsing. Shadow Puppetry, again, this is a shadow action. The next attack action card you're playing gains +1, go again, and if this attack hits, look at the top card of your deck, you may banish it. So this, again, these cards are all so good in that kind of go wide deck that we're seeing Chain probably produce, and I cannot wait to try that out. We got Unhallowed Rites. You may play non-attack action cards this turn. If you play it from your banished end, you may play a non-attack action with Blood Debt from your graveyard you may put on the bottom of your deck. See, like, that is so good. Like, the interaction with your graveyard and the interaction with your banished zone is so huge, and that's what kind of leads me to believe something like Sir Gwyn will have some interaction. Sir Bolton, sorry, that you'll be able to kind of, that charge will interact with your graveyard. I just think that Shadow, it makes sense that Shadow can interact with the graveyard. Maybe if you don't agree with me about the graveyard, maybe it's that it'll interact with your deck. That seems negative though. Whereas like your graveyard seems like a resource. I think charge is going to be like, they're going to flavor it some sort of like burial rites, right? Like, so something goes in the graveyard and you have a ceremony, and then it goes, their soul leaves, so it goes in your soul. I don't know, I could see something like that happening where you kind of have that ability to interact with your graveyard in the same way that that cards are doing in the shadow cards. But I could be wrong about that. We'll see. I'm sure we'll see here pretty soon. And then Invert Existence, you may play it from your Banish Zone. Again, like, so much stuff happening, so much interaction with the other zones is what makes this game so, well, it makes it so much better than it was 2 weeks ago, which it was already super good. So it's kind of crazy. Banish 2 cards from an opposing hero's graveyard. So that's where it kind of tells me too, like, you're attacking their graveyard. If it's an attack action card and a non-attack action card that are banished, deal 2 arcane damage. So like, the Runeblade wants to take cards out of the light hero's graveyard. My anticipation again is that it's because another bonus for the light hero is moving stuff from their graveyard to their soul. So the graveyard is a common place for both of them, shadow and light. The Banish Zone is where Shadow interacts with their cards to benefit themselves. And then the Soul is where the Light Heroes interact to benefit themselves. That's my theory here before we move on and get to where we're going. So I'm sure they will let us know here pretty soon. All that being said, I hope that you all have a great day. Let me know what you think in the comments. And thanks so much for joining me on this spoiler season. It's been a lot of fun, and welcome to Steve Aoki. This is one of those people I'm not the only one who's known about Steve Aoki hanging out and buying stuff on the good old eBay, and so people are moving into our Flesh and Blood community that are bringing a lot of big followers. I hope that you are able to keep up. And I hope that you know that this game is very secure financially. So anyway, hope you have a great day. Be kind to the people around you. We'll see you for our Welcome to Wraith market update sometime today. I think we'll be streaming tonight too. I'm not positive, but I think we will be. Have a good one.